Hi, I'm Melissa Morosky. So this video is about chapter 2 in the mental health in a social work context by Nick Gould on chapter 2. I feel like after reading this chapter, I learned a lot more about social inclusion and its importance in mental health. Um, so social inclusion generally is just the relationship between mental health, distress and deterioration, and social factors that go along with it. Not just deterioration, but also positive, working to better mental health. But is encouraging social inclusion is encouraging people to take part in society, to do activities to get them busier and to help them have a healthier mind. And when people with mental health problems are not interlocked into society, they just have more of a disadvantage of it. The book explains this cycle, um, that people with mental health go along when they're not, in social inclusion, the social exclusion part of it. But it goes through mental health problems that lead to social withdrawal, unemployment, homelessness, more mental health problems, debt, and then I think it goes back all around again. Um, while reading all this, it really reminded me of the mental health video we watched about the Killer Cure video. I think the woman's name was Fernanda, but it just talked about how she had mental health problems but was in a society where she was able to be busy and do activities. I think the hospital provided those activities for her to just go grocery shopping. I think she lived with another woman who just helped her be busy, and that helped with basically getting her healthier with her mental health. So the three topics that I decided to talk on were employment, poverty, and physical health. So with employment can be very difficult for a person with mental health problems. It is common for sorry, it's common for people with mental health problems to take off a lot of work, um, to try and get help or seek doctors, to help them with this stuff, or if they're just having a bad day, more likely for them to take off, because of their mental issues. And these correlates because the more work they miss, the more the mental health worsens. If they're gone for a couple weeks or even a couple days, they might be less motivated to go back, to working. Um, and this is even true for people without mental health, I think. Just the more lazy you are, the more hard it is to be motivated again. And there's very high percentages that show that people with serious mental health issues are not employed. It was staggering to me just to see how many people with mental health aren't working, which is sad. And also, I don't think companies make it the easiest for people with mental health issues to recover and, get the help they need so that they can keep working more efficiently, and to help stimulate them more. But social inclusion in this is important for those that are unemployed to be working. Being engaged can help them. It's helps full in a therapeutic sort of way, and the book describes it as self-empowering, and that can just help those with mental health issues have more opportunities to grow. So next is poverty. So going from unemployment, mental health also impacts poverty a lot. Just being financially unstable can cause more stress in a person and make a person's mental health worsen and worsen. And I think the other way around, that makes their financial situations also worsen and worsen. So the more stressed they are, the more they're not looking at their finances and taking care of it properly, and everything is just going downhill. But some people, with mental health may have a hard time with employment, like we talked about, or they have a tough time with their cognitive capacity to deal with their finances, and getting mental health help alone even could just add to that financial stress. I remember one of my classes, we were talking about the Linder Center of Hope and how much that was, even just per day for them to get help, and it was just mind boggling. So with social inclusion, it's important that those with mental health problems are able to work with others for financial help. It's important for them to stay motivated to deal with these finances, because that's something that, even for me, finances are crazy and hard. So I can't imagine with somebody who's struggling with other mental health problems, trying to figure out their finances. It can be extremely difficult. Um, yeah, so the last one was physical health. And I was really interested by this one. Just because at first I was like, huh, I was curious how this is going to play out, but it actually makes a lot of sense. The book states that people with severe mental illness are 1.5 times more likely to die prematurely than those without, which is just insane. Statistics show that people with mental health problems are more likely to get things like diseases, diabetes. I think one was like cardiovascular disease, and hepatitis maybe was one of them. I can't remember, but just crazy things like that. Part of this is because people with mental illness have more poor eating habits. They smoke more. They are less likely to exercise. So that just all plays into like things like obesity and just worsening physical health, which then leads them to get these things like diseases and diabetes. And I think a person's health relates to social inclusion when it comes to mental health, because when they are less in society, they are more likely to be lazy, less motivated, and just not excited to get up and go work out, or get excited about this new diet that'll make them feel better. They're just more likely to be lazy. And this will just cause more and more physical health problems. So being more included in the society would allow them to be excited about eating healthier and smoking less and working out more. And I think this would benefit the mental health of those struggling with it. But yeah, overall, I thought this was extremely interesting, and a common pattern I noticed was just that in each of these topics and the other ones that we read about, it just seemed like a never-ending cycle. Like the employment one, when they were less likely to be working, their mental health was getting worse and worse. And when they're financially more stressed, their mental health was getting worse. So I think with social inclusion, if they are working towards these things, if they're working more, if they are financially stable, if they are working out and their health is good, they will more likely to be included and see the opportunities in society, and have less mental health problems. Like, it'll get better, it won't get worse and worse. So it's hard, but it's also encouraging. But I just thought it was all really interesting, and yeah, that's it.